So the first question is, what do you think about the youth's participation in the social sector? Do you think it's surface level, it's just kind of a trend, or is it really that people are excited to join the social sector?
I definitely think that the youth currently in India is quite passionate about India's growth story, and I definitely see that and feel that a lot of youth are interested in being a part of these spaces in where they can contribute. But I think we have not done a very good job of creating the spaces where youth voices can really come together in a systematic manner. So we are also doing some work in Indonesia, at Co-Impact, and I'm seeing that youth is such a part and parcel of their non-profit work, the interventions that they're doing. So I think there's a lot that India can really do to engage with the potential that the youth has.
Do you think there should also be a growth strategy for the leaders in the social sector, that is to create the space where youth can contribute?
Absolutely. I think I myself sometimes feel that when I go for a lot of the panel discussions, every time you see a very similar set of people. And I feel also the landscape is changing so much. Even whether you talk about gender, which is no longer binary, or you talk about other type of issues, youth are relating to them in a very different way. They have point of views which are very different from what our generation would have had, right? So I definitely think it's very important that we start to systematically build on that, and it's not happening so far.
One question is, what strategies in practice can social sector leaders implement to proactively integrate a GEDI lens into every aspect of their organization's workplace culture and operations?
So I think it again begins by ensuring that the youth, many times when they're working in organizations, end up being at the lower levels of the hierarchy just because age is there. Whereas if you look at the corporate sector, especially with the startup scenes, there's such a big shift that's happened. A lot of the startup founders and the CEOs are very young people. So I think that shift also needs to start to happen. Experience matters, expertise comes with experience, but there's still a lot that the youth can bring to the table. So I think if organizations are intentional about it, if they start to really hear and listen and create those spaces, working groups, like there are many ways of doing it, but it requires time and investment.
Two quirky questions. What is your favorite quote from today's panel discussion?
I don't know if a quote. Obviously, all the panelists were great, but I think one of the quote could be that we need to create a fund of funds that then really, gives it to is there for all different organizations.
And if you had to describe your journey in the social sector in one line, how would you do that?
I would say it's been a privilege. It's been an absolute privilege to be doing something on a day-to-day basis that gives so much meaning to our lives. A lot of people don't have that privilege. They do the work because they have to. But for me, I think it's been really amazing that I've managed to do whatever I have in my life when I really felt passionately about it.
And on an ending note, is there something you want to tell Arthan? Is there something you want to tell your audience or people who view?
I think I'll just tell Arthan that you guys are just doing such a fantastic job in really creating this space where we start to talk about what really matters at the end of the day, which is human development, which is human capital. And I think forums like these are really important. They move away from your climate change, gender, etc., to really hone in on a thing that's like horizontal across everything. So, yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much for your insights.